Well, hello and welcome to another edition of 907 Sports, where it is all Alaska all the time. Jordan Rodenberger calling the plays in this one as we near the end of June, which is hard to believe, but still plenty of summer left. I'm not one of those negative Nancys that talks about how we're losing daylight already. Nope, still plenty of summer left. We're going to enjoy it. And in the height of summer is the summer solstice, which Alaskans certainly know how to celebrate. We deserve it. We've earned it after those long, dark winter days and nights. We come out and celebrate during the summer, and the granddaddy celebration of them all when it comes to the solstice is, of course, the famed midnight sun game played every year in the Golden Heart City since 1906, well before the Alaska Gold Panthers took it over in the 60s. The annual baseball game played through midnight without the use of artificial lighting is a bucket list event for any baseball fan, celebrating its 120th anniversary this year. And it was a special one featuring two Alaska teams for the first time in quite a while there. Anchorage Glacier Pilots and the Alaska Gold Panthers, two founding fathers of the Alaska Baseball League, taking to Ground Memorial Park, which was recently listed in the National Register of Historic Places, which is pretty cool there. And after a chilling flyover, one that just gives you goosebumps, the Pilots, well, not those Pilots, but the Anchorage Glacier Pilots took flight in the first inning, 4 runs, including a 3-run homer. Gold Panthers tried to claw their way back throughout, but the 2025 edition of the Midnight Sun game goes to the Pilots, 7-2, the final in that one. That's crazy to believe that this is the scene in Fairbanks, Alaska. After 1 a.m., still daylight, still wanting to play ball out there. But that one, if you have never checked out, is a must-see event. And another popular event around solstice time is the Mayor's Marathon in Anchorage, or across Anchorage, I should say, starting at Kincaid Park and winding their way through town to Delaney Park. And that taking place this past Saturday. Thousands of participants from all over. Many use this race as their 50 marathons in 50 states, making this their Alaska representation. I know some of those stories coming out of there this past weekend, which was pretty cool. Now, 19-year-old Alaskan football phenom Obed Vargas has seen and accomplished quite a bit in his young career. He made his MLS Major League Soccer debut at 15 years old. He was the third youngest to ever appear in the MLS when he made his debut for the Seattle Sounders. He was a 2022 CONCACAF League champion with those Sounders and recently made his national team debut for Mexico. So already doing some amazing things at 19. But what he did this past week, what he was up to, may have been the biggest stage of them all, as Vargas in the MLS's Seattle Sounders competed in the FIFA Club World Cup, featuring the best clubs in the world. And although they were bounced in the group stage, it provided some high-level experience for the Alaskan product, playing nearly every minute of all 3 matches and 87% pass completion throughout. In that Club World Cup, featured a 2-0 loss to PSG, who's coming off a Champions League title as one of the best teams on the planet. They also went toe-to-toe in a 3-1 loss with Atletico Madrid, a club Vargas has been a supporter of since he was 10 years old. He got a chance to meet his favorite player, childhood hero, Antoine Griezmann. That was incredible, exchanging jerseys with personal messages on them. We're going to have to check this one out.
¿Quién es tu jugador favorito?
Griezmann,
¿Por qué?
porque es un ídolo del Atlético y es el jugador que seguí desde niño.
¿Cómo estás? Un placer, ¿eh?
No, un placer, muchas gracias.
Qué guay.
Hola, me llamo Obed Vargas, soy jugador de los Seattle Sounders. Vengo siguiendo el equipo desde muy niño, desde que tengo 10 años. Estuve muy lejos creciendo en Alaska, pero un orgullo jugar en contra de ellos hoy. El Atlético es muy luchador y saca resultados de nada, entonces yo creo que me identifico mucho en la lucha y el coraje y corazón del Atlético.
Awesome stuff from Vargas, who I'm sure has a lot more to see and accomplish in his young career. They'll get back on their MLS schedule here next week, and in that second half of the season, they're about in the middle of the standings of the Western Conference table, so we'll see if the Sounders can make a second half push there. And it is 907 Sports, where it is Alaska all the time, but a lot of national sports events happening as well. I'm thinking about the Stanley Cup champions recently going around their part of southern Florida, the Panthers, and showing off and parading their cup there, which had me thinking back to a time when Alaska had its kind of own version of a Stanley Cup parade. That was back in 2000 when Scotty Gomez brought home the Stanley Cup to Anchorage. No, it's not Thursday, but we can still throw it back to that summer 25 years ago when Gomez brought the cup here and brought it around town. There was a 6-hour public event and an estimated 8,000 people showed up. He brought it to the Children's Hospital as well. And I'm sure a lot of you folks out there have stories of that summer of 2000 when Scotty Gomez brought home that cup to Alaska. Pretty cool winning that with the New Jersey Devils there. Pretty special moment, one that kind of lives on in Alaska sports history, as actually is a quote-unquote moment in the Alaska Sports Hall of Fame. So that one lives on forever. And other national-ish news is national sports news. The NBA draft just taking place. Surprise, surprise. The Mavericks take Cooper Flagg with the first overall pick, who's a Duke superstar, which had me thinking of other Duke standouts who went on and got drafted to the NBA. Some that we are very familiar with. Have you ever heard of Trajan Langdon, the highest selected draft pick from Alaska, 11th overall to Cleveland, the Alaskan assassin? Went on to have a great career and is now running the Detroit Pistons, who had one of the greatest turnarounds we've seen, from a 14-win team to a playoff contender there. That's pretty incredible what Trajan's still doing in the basketball scene there. And another Duke product, Carlos Boozer, of course, from Juneau Douglas, went on to play 13 seasons in the league. He was drafted by the Cavs in 2002. And then a little bit of a break till 2008. Mario Chalmers, a two-time champion with the Miami Heat, of course. He's a Bartlett High grad, went on to star at Kansas, hit that big shot for them in the national championship game. And Justinian Jessup lived in Nome through middle school before moving to Colorado. He was selected by Golden State in 2020 and now currently playing overseas, while JT Thor, he grew up in Alaska. He went to West High his freshman year, ultimately went to Auburn and was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets in 2021, now with the Washington Wizards. So some fun little sports history lessons there, as that will do it for 907 Sports. So I appreciate you tuning in. If you got sports ideas, athlete of the week, tips, fishing report ideas, please shoot us an email at sports@ktuu.com. Big state, a lot of great athletes, a lot of great things happening around, so please reach out at any time. Thank you again for tuning in to 907 Sports. We'll see you again next week.